Every once in a while. Are you on the crappy looking one?
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's a publisher. That's why. A lot of the ones that are publishers are actually, you can see the full thing.
Okay. Dude, this is sold multiple times before. This is sad.
It's sold a few. Not much, but a few. So, welcome, Steve. Welcome, Ryan.
I gotta open it up. I have the group open. Let's see. All right, Steve, good morning. Good morning, good morning.
Aren't you supposed to be at work, Steve?
Patty, hello. So as always, we're going to give it, a few minutes for people to pop on here. It's early for some people. It's late for others, depending on where you are in the world. Morning, Thee. Hopefully I am not butchering your name. Tim, Bev, good morning. Hello.
That is one thing I'll say is like these people that like stream on YouTube or like Twitch and even just like podcasts and or like the gaming community when they get like donations or new subscribers, they always say the person's name, and I could never do that. I would butcher so many names.
Hey, it's the effort that counts, right? Ellis, Ryan, Melissa, good morning, good morning. Hey, I have a real question. I bought BB Lifetimes at a proscription. Steve, I'd have to check on that. Probably not, since those were before we changed everything. Jacob, was that call? All right.
2 minutes.
All right. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we're just going to wait a few. Jacob's got something he's got to take care of. We're still waiting for people to pop on here, so all good. All right, good day from Singapore, the future. Nice. Great stuff yesterday. Love spying. Awesome. Finland. I love seeing where you guys are from. Or are currently living. I don't know. We'll give it a few more minutes here before we get started. I was just talking to Jacob before we got on this live. Have any of you guys, when you see the click inside, look inside button, how many of you guys have seen when you click that, the cover page, you can literally see the entire book? Like not just 3 or 4 or 5 pages, but the entire interior. Has anyone ever seen that before? Clay, good morning. Where are you located? What time is it over there? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when I opened up this book that we're going to be taking a look at, you literally see like the entire 100-page interior. I've never seen that before. Might be because I'm mostly looking at KDP CreateSpace books, which they don't seem to do that, but usually it's just like 3 or 4 pages and that's it. Canary Islands, Spain, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, Steve, I opened up this book, which we'll be showing you guys, and I'm like scrolling down, and it just kept scrolling and kept scrolling and kept scrolling. Like, wow, that's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before, or at least I hadn't noticed it before. When do you think mobile will get that feature? I have no idea. Mobile on Amazon seems to work a little bit different than desktop. That's probably 2 different teams. So if I were to guess, probably not soon. Not soon. Alice over here can lip read for Jacob. Barton, hello. Looks like you're popping in here.
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm trying to get it so it'll quit doing the Pac-Man sound.
All right. Yeah, Jacob just got one call, and then we are going to jump on. Is my origin Belgium? No, I was born in the I was born in the States. I think I'm Norwegian. Norwegian. I think that's where a lot of my ancestors are from. With full, yeah, Patty. I've seen it with full content books. I'm talking specifically about like maybe lower content. I mean, the one we're going to look at is it's like an activity coloring book type of thing. Alice, that is correct, only for the U.S. market. The U.S. market really makes the most sense, though, because like I'll take research from the U.S. market, and then I'll just put that same stuff up, especially on KDP, and you can just decide, hey, which locale do you want to put it in? And then a lot of the times, well, actually not a lot of the times, but sometimes you'll notice that, you put something up that you think you're going to sell really well in the U.S., but it'll start selling in, really well in the U.K., or I think Jacob had one that was selling well in Japan, so kind of strange. But yeah, since you can pick all the locales and most of them are going to be in English anyways, I do my research on Amazon.com. Through BookBolt is Amazon.com, and then just kind of distribute that everywhere that I can. The thumbnail interior pages on back cover so mobile can see what's inside. Good point. Denmark. Yes. Did I say Norwegian? I meant Denmark, I think. Danish. So you're a Viking. I guess so. I know you can ask them to show more pages. I can't imagine why anyone would want to show the entire book. I mean, Bev, I guess if it was an activity book or a long form book, but I mean, a long form book really wouldn't make that much sense either because you just read it on Amazon. Kind of defeats the purpose. We're going to talk about legalities, like if we can sell a KDP book on another platform. Mari, not sure, but you can sell your books anywhere you want. You don't have to necessarily just sell them on KDP. That being said, if you are listing your book on Amazon and then trying to drop ship that to a customer, for example, on Etsy or something, you might run into some issues there simply because Amazon doesn't allow you to use your Prime account to drop ship. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to be drop shipping from Amazon, no Prime account. They do shut down accounts for that, buyers' accounts. So just keep that in mind. Phoenix, Arizona. Is it hot there today? Danish. All right, Jacob's back.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
she had to
good.
send me that letter.
Are you getting it?
Yes. So, yeah, we're going to put in our
Congrats.
offer. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they accept it. What did you talk about? Because I see
someone asked
pastries
me
and
if I was
Danishes.
Belgium. If I was my origin was from Belgium, and then first I said I was Norwegian, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. I think it's Danish.
A little bit of a difference. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for her to send me that letter. She said we're good, and we'll put in an offer. So let's hope it works.
Cool. All right, guys. Should we get started? I think people are starting to show up. Comments are flowing.
All right. Did you already tell them what we're doing today?
I did not.
Okay,
I did not.
So let's go ahead and kick this off here. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was asking the question if anyone had seen the look inside button showing the entire book. Some people yes, some people no.
It's usually on just published books. Beth said, "Welcome to the world of money pit owners, Jacob."
Oh man.
Yeah, better than throwing rent away every month. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to be talking about what makes a good cover. Going to kind of be showcasing some cover stuff. I'm also going to be doing some Photoshop tutorials for the group and some separate side videos. I'll record them. So if you have anything you would like to see in Photoshop, let me know. But a lot of you probably don't use Photoshop or don't want to use Photoshop, so I'm not going to sit here and bore you with that today. Also, I might have to answer the phone. Neil might have to take over, and well, you don't want to see him using Photoshop.
That's true.
So, good cover, bad cover. I think there's a few important points we need to hit first before we start showing anything here. Number one is people do judge a book by a cover, okay? I know someone in the comments the other day said, I've read hundreds of books or thousands of books and I've never judged one off the cover. Well, that
Whoever said that is a liar. I'm just going to be...
But the thing is even with an actual book, you can flip it over and have, you can read a description of what to expect within the book. And with low content, it's a little different. Okay. You're not necessarily expecting a story inside if you're buying a low content book. You're going to have to, make some type of connection the first time you see them. Because sure, it might be what they want, but they might hate how it looks. And let's say, for example, there might be a bathroom guest poop book. Okay. That's something that was trending on Amazon not long ago. You set it, in your bathroom, and people can review your bathroom. How was the experience? Was there good Wi-Fi? They're hilarious, but, you can go through all that, but you want that to look good. You want that if you're having that sit out at your house, you want that to look good, or you want it to look cool. So there is that kind of emotional appeal to covers. So a horrible cover, I don't care necessarily how good your interior is. It's never going to be a good seller. Okay. It might get a sale. You might see some sales trickle in here and there, but it's never going to be a good seller.
Yeah. Think about walking into a bookstore, right? I know bookstores are almost a thing of the past at this point. But with all retail, there's shelf space. So think of Amazon as your digital shelf space. All right. The first page of any keyword someone types in is just digital real estate. And there's only so many results on that page. And if you even are on that page, you're competing visually, right? Because you're not sitting there picking these books up and looking at them. You're visually competing against everyone else in that same, real estate market, which is the first page of Amazon. So you need your cover to, one, tell them what they're buying. Like, I think that's probably the most important part. They need to know what they're going to be getting in a split second. Like, as soon as they see it, they need to know what it is.
They need to be able to look at it and understand. Like, no question asked, okay, this is what I'm looking at here. If they have to look at it and say, what type of book is this? Or, what purpose is this book going to serve? Or how is this relevant to what I typed in? You've lost the sale. Okay. You might get a sale still, but in theory, you have then lost the sale because there's going to be confusion. And
something I've noticed too is that your covers don't need to be complicated to be good. Like, Jacob, I know we've done lives before where we talked about the co-working space, right? Mm-hmm. And those covers are literally just big text on a grayish background. That's it.
But the message is there.
Right, exactly.
Here, I'll pull up what we're talking about. Let's see. Okay, let's share my screen.
I was a bookstore manager.
All right.
Yeah, they're going out.
So this here, okay, Blue Ridge Art, it's a massive brand. They have over 2,000 results populating here. And you can see, they're crushing it with these books. Right now, a lot of their stuff is kind of like in the coworker space or, I survived another meeting that should have been an email. Okay, you can look at all of these and instantly think, coworker space, white elephant, gag gifts, all kinds of things. They're very clean cut. They were early to the game. Okay, so these were all published, 2016, 2017, 2018. But they're all doing, you can see these ranks, they're doing very, very well. But when you look at this cover, there is absolutely no confusion with it. You know exactly what you're looking at here. And I think that's something very important to put out. Also, I know today isn't on advertisements or anything, but a good cover is very important for advertising. I've been saying this for years. A mediocre design is going to eat your budget. A bad design is not going to affect your budget because no one's going to click on it. A mediocre design is going to eat your budget alive and you might get some sales. Okay. And then you are going to have your good designs that do pretty well, can have a profitable ad. And then you have your amazing things that just take off and blow up. So I think a lot of people also need to understand that you don't want to start running into ads with like a cover, it's like, this.
Yeah, because they might show up at the top, right? But like right below it is going to be the organic listing. And the organic listing is number one organically for a reason. One, it sells a ton. 2, it sells a ton probably because 1, it's a good book, and it got the attention of the customer. So if you're putting your book right at the very top in a sponsored ad, and in the same computer screen, without scrolling, they can see a way better product that is ranked organically number 1. Like you're just wasting your time at that point. So, but they don't need to be complicated. That's probably the biggest thing that I get is people will send me stuff and they're like, "Is this a good cover?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know what else is selling in that niche. You know, what is your book about? Is it understandable?" You can have simple covers that are good. You can have complicated covers, which I think we have an example, Jacob, which are terrible. So it really
There's
just depends.
times when there can be too many details within a cover. Also, understand that I've said this the other day, and a lot of people I've been yelled at actually I've received some very, very nasty emails for saying this. You have a certain level that you can compete at. Okay. One of the covers today, I could not compete with this quality. Okay. There's one that we'll show you here today. We have a good example, a bad example. I could not compete at the quality of this good example by myself. I would have to go hire out someone. I mean, could I probably do it? Yeah. Would it take me a unreasonable amount of time to do it? Yes. It wouldn't be worth my time to do it. So you have to understand your level of quality and where you're at as well. There's certain things that, you're just not there yet, and that's okay. But you can learn. Take those covers that you like and say, how can I recreate this? How did they do this with their text? Or how did they bend their image like this? And, how did they make this type of coloring book page? And you can learn from it. Try to, and you're going to freak out at this at first, Neil, try to copy them to learn. You're not listing the book. I will repeat that. You are not listing the book. But if you're trying to say, okay, how can I do something with, text? How did they do this style? Well, just try to copy them so you can learn how to do that. Don't use it, but it's a very good way to learn, like, okay, I see how this works. Like when I first started illustrating, I'm still horrible. But I would take sketches and stuff from online and I would trace them on my iPad because it taught my hand, how to bend and curl. And now it's a lot easier for me to draw because I did that. I never used them, obviously, but there is a level that you can compete against. There's, you have your skill cap. Okay. You might go here and that cover might be here. Well, what do you need to change to get to that next level?
Well, it's all about that, though. Like, that's a really good point. I mean, we all start at literally 0. I mean, I did. I had no idea what I was doing at all. And, now we're a little bit further. Like, each day is about the progression. So, like, you need to be – don't just create your cover out of thin air, I guess. You need to have an idea of who you're targeting, which we kind of went over that yesterday, right? Like, if you're targeting – hardcore bikers, you're going to have a different layout of a cover. It's going to have a different look and feel to it than if you're doing unicorns for 4-year-olds, right? Like totally different. So you have to keep in mind, your target audience, the people you want to sell to. And, if there's stuff that's way, way better out there, figure out what's selling. Look at how they've laid their covers out. And not all, like Jacob's saying, most of the time, you're probably going to go, well, wow, I can't do that. But start, try, and then keep moving forward and trying to make better covers. If you hit your cap like Jacob was talking about, and you see someone else out there whose cap is way higher than you, go pay them a few bucks to create a cover, right? Like,
yeah, I'm going to show a really good example here of what a biker would want and what a kid would want. So here, let me go and share my screen here. Let's move this on over. So these are both adult coloring books here, or Halloween themed coloring books here. So this one's, for adults. This one is obviously for kids. And if we take a look at the level of detail between these, okay, this is a very complex cover. You can't see the inside, but you can get an idea of how this is going to look versus what a kid is going to have. You can see the difference here. So it's a massive difference. And that's where that gap
But see, the thing is, both of those are good covers.
Yes.
Because right off the bat, I see Halloween on the kids one, right? It's huge. I know exactly what the book is about. I mean, I might change coloring book for toddlers to make it a little more, apparent. But the adult one, Jake, if you want to switch back there, it says horror in huge red bloody dripping letters. Like, it's very, very easy to know, like, okay, we all know what a coloring book looks like. You get the idea from everything around it. Big bold text, and it makes you stop and go, oh, okay. It's a gorgeous coloring book. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the more you look at this, like the more details you start to see. Like this, I'm assuming this zombie face here. Okay, those are all little different areas you can color, and all of the, just the level of detail is going to be a lot, higher. There's going to be a lot more that you're actually going to be looking for compared to, one of these. Still cute, still, nice, clean, crisp lines here. It looks really, really good, but just a completely different style, completely different audience there. And that's
both selling.
Yes,
I should point that out. Like, yes, you are going into different audiences, but it doesn't have to be super complicated. It just has to be the right market fit for the customer. So, I mean, the kids one you just showed is a perfect example. The interior, very, very easy. Like, yes. I could probably create something sort of like that. And I can barely draw, so.
Let's go ahead and share our screen here. We do have two examples. Do you want to start with the good or the bad, Neil?
Let's start with the good.
Okay.
Let's start with the good.
Let's see. Make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. And
we'll
go full screen here. All right. So this is a good cover. Now, obviously, this is very, very detailed. We could pull up thousands of good covers. We could pull up tens of thousands of bad covers, though. But this is a very good color. When you first look at this, you know exactly what you're looking at. They kind of half colored this, the cover in here, so they kind of can say, okay, look what this could look like, but they're leaving enough white space within it, so then they're actually like, oh, okay, I see. I see how this could be colored in. 100 unique designs. They know they're getting lions, bears, tigers, snakes, all of these different things.
Also, Jacob, that I like to call those things, I don't know what you call them in, the niche itself, but I like to call them badges. Those little circles or those little squares that kind of tell you exactly who it's for, and what it is. Those little things, I don't know what it is, but I create those on most of the books that I sell, and they do incredibly well.
So you look at this, okay, even at a smaller view. Let's X out this. So smaller view, it's not quite thumbnail size, but here, let's go ahead and get to the thumbnail here so we can see it in the search results. So you can see it. When you look at this, even with how small this image is, when you look at that, you know exactly what you're looking at. There is no confusion there, okay? And
scroll up real quick, Jacob. Okay, notice the first book, the one we were looking at, has a low sales rank. It's got reviews. It's selling. And then look at the one literally right below it. They put black text on red background, so it's barely readable in the results when you're scrolling, and it's not sold, and it has no reviews. So, I mean, that's the difference there, is that it sticks out immediately because animals is huge. It's colored in halfway. It just really sticks out to the actual customer. It's readable.
And then we keep scrolling down through here, and it just gets worse. I don't know why someone, and if any of these are your books, I'm sorry if we're critiquing them. I'm not sorry because you'll learn. But don't think we're trying to make fun of you or anything. Everyone learns. And then like this one, for example, okay, why would they do this dark of a background and then leave this? This is not a perfect black or a deep black color here. It's almost like a dark gray. Why would they have a darker colored background with a darker colored outline animal? Okay, those are just little things, and you can see no rank found. Again, here, this text is not centered. So let me stop sharing my screen for just one moment. I'm going to open up Photoshop here just so I can show you this text, but I did want to make sure something wasn't open. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of this cover here. All right, now I can start sharing my screen again.
And that's not necessarily a bad cover. It could just be greatly improved upon if you're going to open up that parrot one.
Yes. Yeah. So here it is. I know it's not absolutely perfect. We could, we can crop this in just a little here, so then it actually is just purple, like so. And then I know it's not top and bottom, but if we pull out some guidelines here, okay, this A is at 19.3%. So if my calculations are correct, the other side of this A needs to be sitting at 80.3 or 80.7% of when we look here. And you can see that it is at 74%. So now if I color these, a different color here so you can actually see them. Okay. You can see how much bigger that right-hand side is. Okay. So you can quickly see how much larger or how far to the left that text is. Now, did they have good intentions? Sure. But, this text doesn't, I don't know what they did here. I don't know if all of these are on different layers. All of these different texts, because it is left-handed alignment for the A here and the P. Those both line up. But then this is like centered. Okay, so it kind of looks weird. Mandala goes out past this G here. So just little things to improve on that you nitpick over time.
Jacob, what else would you do if you were going to do this coloring book to improve this cover?
Capital letters.
Okay.
Probably not a color that is within this parent. I should say. I would probably look for possibly a solid color. So we could take this here. Again, this is not going to be perfect. I'm not going to use this. Please don't think I'm going to. But we could take this here and do something like so. And we could drop in some, maybe even a black here. So something like this. And then I would take this out.
Just changing the background to black is amazing how much more the text pops out.
So I'd probably do something like this. And now this isn't the necessarily, this isn't necessarily the font I would be using here. Okay, but I would center this font up. So then, boom, like this. I'll actually duplicate this layer. Actually, I lied. We'll just add a new layer, brush, back black, and we're just going to cut that parrot off right there. And then what I would probably do is add, what did they have on there? Animals amazing, patterns mandala, and relaxing. Okay, so I would probably change that text around some as well.
So something to keep in mind, guys, is keywords that you put on your cover like that literally are their images. They're not text, so it's not going to help you rank. So please don't do that.
Yeah, so I would definitely change this around. I mean, we could sit here and we could critique this all day long. I'd actually hate this font as well, but it'll do for now. So adult coloring book, I would probably actually move this up like so, drop a layer in behind it, and I would probably grab a color off this parrot here, and then I would do something like this top band. Turn up my opacity here. This top band, okay, with text in it. Now, probably not yellow, but something, something along these lines here that would actually, stand out. And then you could also do one at the bottom here, put a little bit more text in here. There's a lot of different things you can do, but I would not pick a background color that the parrot starts to blend into.
What I just noticed is that they have blue outline on the white text. When you look at that, at least on my screen, that's what it looks like.
Yep. On this text here, there is, let's see here. So if we hide this and this and this, if we zoom in, okay, there's a blue outline that blends in, which doesn't make sense because if we go back to the beginning here, it does almost nothing for you for the simple fact that you have a purple bluish background here. So it does nothing really. If I wanted to do that, I would, let's see here. And again,
I just don't do that. That just is straight out of the 90s.
Whoa. That's
Also, while he's playing with that, something else I'd probably do is remember the good coloring page, the adult coloring book that we looked at that we thought had a good cover, and half of the I think it was a lion, right, was filled in. I think that would have a greater impact on this book if they did the same thing. So notice it's a completely different animal. It's a completely different book, but you can take the same technique that another seller is using and crushing it, aka the one with the lion or tiger on the front, and do the same thing with a book like this.
So if you were going to do a outline on your text, what am I looking for here? So if you were going to do an outline on your text, it would be much better to do like a black versus a, I don't know, it's about a blue, like probably about like that. I don't know,
Yeah,
kind of guessing
yeah,
here. So it was really, really thin too. So like that,
that's hideous.
you can see the difference here, okay, of what these looks like. There's not that big of a change. I guess it's not a it's a non-English speaking author, probably, and that's no big deal. You know, I'm not going to hate on anyone that, or critique someone on their language barrier. Could they get better? Yes, but I'm not going to hate or say anything against them because I only know English. They're skilled.
But
more
also,
skilled than me.
but also keep in mind too that it's a lot more forgiving, at least from the buyer's perspective, if the English that might not be proper, which I run into all the time, is in the description or it's in the title. But if you start throwing in random keywords into your cover, now the product itself starts to look more amateurish, right? It might lead to less sales because you look at it, and especially on .com as an English speaker, and you go, well, I don't know. This doesn't really make the most sense. Why don't I just go to that second listing I was looking at? And they go back because the second listing would only say adult coloring book, right? And then they might have something in their description or so on and so forth. So something to keep in mind. I wouldn't put keywords like that on your cover. On the cover, just tell them what they're buying. It's an adult coloring book. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that.
Alice says, I speak 4 languages, make mistakes on all of them. Hey, great for you speaking 4 languages because I can barely speak English, okay? Most days I still even struggle with just that. Let's go ahead, move on. And one thing I'd say is with this cover here, let's go ahead and start sharing my screen again. I would probably start with relaxing, fun and relaxing mandala activity book. I would change this around. You can put these keywords if you wanted text on here. I'd probably start with relaxing because it sounds like animals are amazing. Sure, yes. Patterns, mandala, okay, and relaxing. Okay?
Relaxing.
It just doesn't necessarily make sense. And again, I'm not hating on someone if English is not their first language. But if English is not your first language, or like, let's say I wanted to put a book up in Japan with Japanese on it, I would go ask someone that knew Japanese, like, hey, does this read properly? So I give that suggestion to everyone. If you are in this group, if you're watching this live, the replay, whatever, and you have questions and you're not English isn't your first language, or even if you're like me and it is and you still suck at grammar and everything, then, message me. I'll tell you if something, makes sense or not. So I will try to do that. Jacob, which spelling do you use for coloring or coloring if you're from Canada? I always do the American version, the right version. So I'm just playing, but I always do the without the U. Okay, so all of those words, there's a lot of like English words that have a U in it. Margaret is a great example. She's from the Isle of Wight in London, England, I should say, the UK. But they use you in like coloring and stuff. So I always do the American version. If I have room in the back end keywords, I'll throw in the other version there as well. But I don't think about it too much.
I also do the American version because if you think about it, Amazon.com is a bigger market, right? Like I feel like I want to target the bigger market, and the smaller market in the UK is willing to forgive me for my improper English if that's the way they see it. So I focus on the biggest markets first, and then trickle down from there.
All righty, we are going to go ahead. You ready to move on to this bad design here, Neil?
All right, let's do it. This is a design that we found that is an example of a. If you know who made this, I would love to know. This is.
I want to see what goes on inside their head.
Interesting. So right off the bat, don't even pay attention to the title. Can any of you guys tell what the hell that is? Like, is this a book about? I don't know. You'd actually have to read the title. Apparently, this is the world's greatest coloring book. From the What Happens When Puppies Pray series. I don't know why they put that in their title. Is that that doesn't hold any clout with me or probably many of you. So let's go ahead and click on it and blow it up so we can actually look at this thing. Even when it's blown up, I can barely read it.
I'm sorry. If you made this, I'm not laughing at you. I want to know what goes on inside your head on a day-to-day basis. That I want to see how organized your brain is, because like Marianne said, it's a hot mess. There's a level of detail you can reach for, but there's also a level of too much crap on the cover.
So real quick, before we get into actually looking at what's on this cover, literally 5 seconds before Jacob hit the live button, he's like, hey, I need an example of a bad and a good cover. So one of the examples I like to use is I Google, or I go on Amazon, I search for rainforest coloring book. Okay. That's got like 300 something results. It's very small, but they sell. Picked out the first one. You'll see it in there. But if I scroll to the bottom, let's see if I still have it. This listing that we're looking at right here with this hideous cover is a sponsored listing. Someone is paying money to have this show up on the same page as the good cover that we were looking at. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind when you are putting something like this along with something that's readable and stands out and looks really great. All you're going to be doing is just wasting money, because this isn't even one of those like mediocre covers. This is a cover where someone sees it and they go, I have to know what that is. Like, I'm not buying it, but I'm clicking it because like, what is going on here? So they're probably gonna spend a lot of ad money simply because of that.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go back to sharing here. Okay. I have it opened up. Neil, you want to talk here for a second? Just let me know if you need me to scroll.
Yeah, so, okay, first thing, title. Guys, the most important thing is your title has to be readable. I mean, I can see that says the world's greatest coloring book, but they got some, like, 3D text going on here. It's on a super busy background. I have no idea how anyone can read that if they're scrolling through the results. That's the first thing that I would change, okay? It needs to be readable on a background that, makes your text pop. Second thing, the subtitle. I'm not that old, but I cannot read that. From the What Happens When Puppies Pray series. Okay, that's when it's blown up. When it's a tiny little thing on Amazon and you're scrolling through, no one can read that. Jacob, if you can hear this, if you can go back, can you go back to the actual listing? Actually, probably not. I mean, right there, no one can read that from here, right? Unreadable. Completely.
And this isn't even okay. I just had to forward that email. Sorry. This isn't even the worst part. Let's go ahead. Let's drop this in here. Let's look at it from a thumbnail size now.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Like, I have no idea what's going on in that picture. I see 100, and I see 1, and I see a dog. That's literally all that's readable. There's that Elvis. That's all that's readable to me, like, as a potential customer. I have no idea what's going on here. So I think this is probably like the best example we could find of like what not to do, because 1, you have to have a readable title, and 2, the customer that's going to click on the book needs to know what they're buying. Click inside again.
Okay.
Click inside and then scroll down and look at some of these pages. I mean, they did the same thing for their interior. Keep scrolling.
So, okay, hang on real quick. Is this book title the world's greatest coloring book from the What Happens When Puppies Pray series, over 100 pages of fun? Or is it the King Low T Bug Brilliant book? Oh, that's okay, never mind. Okay, so that's their book series, books designed to make readers of every. I mean, this is hard to read. This, I'd be very curious to see what this website leads to. Okay, so they have numerous. This isn't bad to see. They at least structured this part nicely. It's, again, I think it's way too busy.
Like, guys, I think that what to take away from this interior is simple fonts. Like, you don't need to spend 5 hours looking for the perfect font. If it's readable, it's a better font than what we're seeing here. That is my take on this.
Like, I'm trying to think. This says 4OKE.
Or
Okay.
is that a J? Might be a J.
Joke. What is the smartest kind of bee? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was a 4, an H, a J. Okay. You want everything to be clean and readable. Okay. You want it to make sense. You want it to, you want to be able to hit here and boom, you understand what's going on. Because maybe if I was drunk after a bar one night, I would take a look at this because I would probably be squinting trying to figure out what in the world was going on. But other than that, this book still tells me I have no idea what we're looking at here. I'm assuming
I'm still confused. Like, okay, it's a coloring book, but it's a coloring book of what? Like, I don't know what happens when puppies pray. What does that mean? I don't know. What's the text below the dog even say, even when it's blown up? Can you make that out? It says the king something.
The king. It's this right here. The King Low T Bug Brilliant Book Series.
I mean, guys, I know we're all laughing and about this book cover, but what you need to take away from it is you have literally like a quarter of a second to tell the customer what it is you're selling. And we've been on this book for 5 minutes, and I'm still unsure of the purpose or like the coherency of what is inside of this thing.
Yes. So, okay, let's go ahead. Are we good here? Let's go back to our faces. Are we good here? Does that help you distinguish? It's a flying puppy, I guess. I didn't even notice that. Here, look.
Oh, he's going like this.
He is flying.
With his fist out. Okay, Margaret wins. All right, she figured out what this is.
Yep, you win. You most certainly win here. Yeah, that's definitely a flying dog. Most certainly a flying dog. I thought maybe this author is from different cultural background, and that's why we see differently. Yeah, it might be. This. I know you sit here and say, but as an American, he is an American author. It could be it could be from somewhere where these are things that Neil and I have never seen before. It's a very different style, but if this
and at the same time, Jacob, like this could be his style. But what I always tell people, especially if you don't want to do this as a hobby and you want to do this as a business, your style needs to be what other people buy. Like, I don't care what your specific style is and what you really enjoy. If you want to make a lot of money doing this, you need to be whatever style customers want to purchase. Okay, so like if you like some really weird artwork, that's awesome. Hang it up in your house. Okay, but if you want to sell that weird artwork to everyone else, if there's no buyers for it, then then consider it a hobby, not a business. So you are not your target audience is the biggest thing that you guys should take away from that.
Yes. Hey, fix your focus, Neil. Also, the other thing I will say is you have to start somewhere.
Why is it still messed up?
You have to start somewhere. I don't care if you have never designed anything before. I don't care if you've been using, Photoshop for 20 years now. You can always improve. And going off of what Neil said, your style is not always going to be the style that sells. Okay. I can't tell you, especially for like merch by Amazon shirts, I can't tell you how many hideous shirts that I would never wear sell. Because there's different styles out there. Now, odds are there's probably someone out there that has the same style as yours, even if it is like this dog one, okay? Or I think it's a dog one. There is going to be someone out there. You said all of his books are like this? All right, let's go investigate real quick, and then we will get moving on here. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're all that dog.
I wonder if it's his dog.
I don't know.
And he photoshopped it within. Let's see. Okay, so here, look. This one is even better than his last one. It's, it's not nearly as busy. They have that little badge on here. He has his book series on here. I don't think it's necessarily needed. He has that same font, and even from this large image, it's very, very, very hard to see from the
It's the same thing. What happens when puppies pray series?
Yes. So same thing here. Again, but it is a lot cleaner. And well, then you get to the back and it's extremely busy again. Okay, this has to be like his dog or something, and he's photoshopping it in. But this is, it did get better here. Could be a new art trend he is early on. Possibly, I don't know. Let's see. 5 billion has it sold in a long time.
It's because it's not in stock. Scroll up and look to the right.
Okay, yeah, this is actually from
out of print.
Yep, this is actually by an actual publisher, so this is an FBA product or merchant fulfilled product. But let's go ahead. Let's move on. I showed you guys a little bit of Photoshop here and how horrible I am at it compared to some, but we are not going to be focusing on Photoshop for the next part of the session in this call. We're going to be talking about BookBolt here, the all-in-one designer. Whether you're just starting out or have been at this for a little while, Neil's team has done a very, very good job on making something that, anyone can use with a little practice. You go into Photoshop and there's 1,000 different keyboard commands I could do to do 1,000 different things. Okay. BookBolt, you don't have to worry about that. So once you're logged into BookBolt, if you have not grabbed your free 3-day trial or your pro subscription yet, there's a post in the group. Go grab it. Okay, there's a coupon code there. Go grab it. If you click on your name in the top right-hand corner here, you will see a lot of different things. Marianne, I believe you asked in a comment somewhere, where's that KDP Spy Chrome extension that we used yesterday? Once you log into BookBolt, you can find it right here. Okay, so KDP Spy, you click on it, it will take you to the Chrome store and you can install it. Okay, so you can actually install that there. But what we're going to do is go down to the BookBolt Designer.
So keep in mind too, right? Like the reason we made this in the first place is because every time you change the page count of your book, the dimensions of the entire thing change because your spine is going to be different. And, it's going to be different for different paper colors, so on and so forth. So that is always very annoying. And I want an easy way to crank out covers and interiors here. So, Jacob, continue.
All righty. So I am just going to set this up here. So I am just doing a cover. You can select interior or cover. You select your trim size. And as Neil said, every time you change your cover size or your page count, your cover size changes. So if you're not wanting to use BookBolt Designer, you want to use something else, there is this here Amazon provides. I'll paste this in the comments here. Amazon does provide this to us. And what you do is you select your size, you select your page count, and then it will download let's do one here just so you can see. Download cover template, and then this will save. We can then open this up here, and you can see it'll give you a PNG or a PDF. You can open this in any software you want to design in, but every time your book changes, or let's say you're about to publish your book, but you decide to add 2 new pages into it, well, you're going to have to come here, download a new one. Here, you just come in, select what you want, select your page count, click submit, and it'll generate your template.
We'll give it a few seconds here. Basically, this is doing all the math to make sure everything adds up for the paper color. Because the paper color threw me off for a long time, right? Like if you change your paper color, it can be a little bit different. I don't know why that is. Have you run into that, Jacob? I'm assuming you have.
Yeah, I mean, I very rarely do cream. There's some adult things I'll do cream on, but a lot of the stuff I do is more aimed towards kids and everything because it is a little bit easier to me for the simple fact that you're not having to, the details don't have to be quite the same. Sorry, everyone. I'm grabbing a link here for everyone. All right. So this is now done. Okay. This is now generated. This will be ready to go. As soon as, we could place one color here and we could download this. Okay. Just so you can see, we can place, just a color. We can click download. It'll prepare it. And this will be upload ready. We click download and boom, just like that, we now have an upload ready cover. So makes it very, very easy. No calculating or anything.
Look at that orange.
Yeah, I just clicked on the first color. So you can actually select a color picker. So there's some product colors here they have picked out. I'm going to harass Neil and make him change some of these presets here. but we can go, I don't necessarily like going like a hard black here, all zeros, but I will kind of just bring it up just a hair, kind of like to a deep charcoal. I don't know why, but when they're printed, I just personally, I like how they look a little bit more. I think they look a little bit better. So you can select your color here, and don't worry, these margin lines here are not going to be on it when you download it. That's just so your safe area. Okay. And then clip art. We
have not put any clip art in there specifically because we want you guys to upload your own artwork under images. Clip art is, the last thing we want to do is put up something that you guys use and 150 people use the same thing and put it on a cover, and all of a sudden Amazon says, no, this is the same book. So that's why we didn't put any clip art in there. But yeah, Jacob, you want to go to the text?
Yes. So text here. And you can see all of the different options. And
scroll down. So essentially, let me explain this while you are sharing your screen. You can upload your own fonts. I know a lot of you guys already have this stuff. But you see the load more than 1,000 fonts. Go ahead and click on that. These are all Google fonts. Okay. The reason for that is these are free to use commercially. You're never going to run into an issue using any of these. They can be added. They can be clicked on. They can be changed. So anything that you guys want to actually add, super, super easy to do, especially if you have fonts already on your computer.
Yes. And I mean, there's 1,000 plus here. Okay. There is a lot here. So many different styles and types. And Neil, one question I do have, can you upload your own into this?
Yeah. So click on X. You actually have one uploaded.
Duh.
Right there. It says,
yes.
What does that say?
Don't worry about it. It's no longer there. Okay.
There you go. So you click upload fonts, right? And you can upload your own font if you have one on your computer. Now, keep in mind, it does need to be in that certain style. What do we put in there if you are looking at it? I think it's .ttf.
.ttf, Wolf, or Wolf 2.
So keep that in mind. If you have a font that is a different font, all you have to do is just Google a converter. Very, very easy to do. But so Jacob just uploaded one, so now if you just click on it, not the X, you just click on it, it'll add it to the page. You can change it to whatever you want. Now that's kind of a horrible font.
Oh yeah, I just downloaded a completely random one here, so people could see how it is done. So you can change the size, you can change your spacing if you have more than one line. So. Oh, that is awesome.
That's a terrible font.
Why was this on the front page of that site?
I don't know.
All right, so here's this. So you can see you can change, how far apart do you want your letters, and then you can also bring your lines closer or further apart to do, whatever you want.
So the left side of the book is the back.
Yes.
The front is the cover. Or wow, did I just say the front is the cover? Yeah, yes. No kidding. The right side of the page is the cover.
So we'll put this on here. Makes it nice and easy. We can easily change the size here. Boom.
Change the color on that because that is hideous. There you go.
So there we go.
Oh, man. What do you...
So now you can see anything on the right-hand side of this center margin. This is going to be your spine. Anything on the right-hand side is going to be, your cover. Anything on the left is going to be, the back side of your cover, the back of your book. So now, what can we do here? Neil, you got any ideas of what we can design here?
Yeah, okay. So what I like to do is do you have like an image to upload so we can make a pattern?
I can get one.
Yeah, go grab one quick. Because what I like to do is let's create one of those title boxes.
Like just a simple black bird.
Yeah, sure. Make it a black bird. We'll make it white, and then we'll patternize it, and then we'll make a title box. Because I think the title boxes with the patterns sell really well, especially for me.
Okay. Well, I'm doing this. I'm going to put us back on the screen here. Let me download this here real quick.
Yeah, patterns are something that we should probably go over. And title boxes, right? Like we were harping when we were looking at that terrible, in my opinion, terrible cover, not readable. A title box fixes all of that. So a box, right, with a black or a white or some sort of background and big, bold text. That is what stands out here.
All right, so let's go images. Let's upload one. I have a bird here. So we will open this up.
Okay, so add the bird. You just click it. Just click the bird. All you have to do is click the bird. There you go. Now change the color of the bird. Upper right-hand corner. Make it like, I don't know, white. There you go. Okay. Now make them really small. Okay. There you go. Now, if in the upper right-hand corner, select the bird right next to the paint bucket. Up in the right. Yep, right there. Click that. Patterns. And you can actually patternize this. And give it a second. Are all of the change the background color actually of the book?
Don't know what just happened there. All right.
There we go. Jacob's computer was failing on him there. There we go. And then, I mean, what you do is one that looks pretty hideous. I'm going to be honest.
Oh yeah, you told me to grab a random image, so that's what I did.
But essentially what I would do is I'd patternize, some sort of artwork, and then I would put a title box. And the easiest way to do a title box, Jacob, is just go to shapes.
Yep.
Pick a shape, add it. Add it where you're going to add it, make it the right size, make it the right color, so on and so forth.
So we can put this. Wow, my computer.
Your computer's laggy.
Yes, it is.
Too much open, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Probably doesn't help. I have like 130 tabs open on Chrome right now. So we could do something like this here, okay? And again, this is absolutely hideous. Do not know what we're doing. Don't worry. I have some, I have some videos I am going to give you for, some actual tutorial videos here. We just wanted to showcase this here today, okay? So then we could add our text over. Whoa, not what I wanted. We could add, wow, my computer is being, I can't move anything. My computer's frozen.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's take this back. So we could call this the ugly buzzard coloring book.
That's good. That's good. Ugly buzzard coloring book. Let's make that white. Yeah, there you go.
To make this white.
Now, if we were doing like the book that we were looking at previously, we wouldn't even put a background box on there because why would you? But the title boxes. This is a terrible title box, Jacob. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
My computer is not letting me.
I would have changed it around a little bit. But the point is, even though this is incredibly ugly, you can read the title. Okay, so when you're making these covers, don't do what we're doing. We're just kind of like playing around here. But two, spend the time to make sure that it looks decent and do those title boxes. Like I see Steven here saying 75% of his covers are patterns. Steve, I'm willing to guess that you actually sell those. Because patterns do really, really well. Title boxes. I know people talk about the barcodes on the back. I typically just leave the back. No one's looking at the back in order to make the purchase of the book. My opinion, it's what I do. It seems to work. But when you're going to buy a low content book, you're going to be buying based on the cover, based on what's inside. I think what's on the back of the book is probably like a way, way distant thing. People might consider last.
Yes. So I think that covers the good versus bad. Like I said, we want to come on here, really drill into your head the differences between good and bad, because there's a huge difference, as we saw today. I know we were laughing, having a good time, but we want you to learn, okay? You aren't going to start off being able to design, a cover like that, the good coloring book. You're not going to be able to start off with those different styles. You have to learn those, okay? So I didn't want to sit here and bore you with a BookBolt tutorial for, another half an hour, or a Photoshop tutorial with a half an hour, because some people will say, hey, I already know how to do this, or hey, I'm not using BookBolt, or, I'm not willing to use Photoshop. So I will have some videos up here for both of those, BookBolt and also some Photoshop stuff, just to give you guys some really good starting points and starting tips on how to do things. Maybe you should use the ugly buzzard coloring book as your example. How do you upload a custom interior? Interiors come tomorrow. Okay. So with that being said, I need to run. I actually need to call my realtor. We're submitting our offer on a house today. So let's hope that works out. But Neil, do you have any final remarks?
I don't think so. Go out there and create some covers. Don't care how you do it. Just get some covers and learn. Focus on, trying to get better, trying to figure out how to make your cover readable and tells the customer on the other end of the screen what it is you're selling. They don't have to be complicated. Like, do not overcomplicate the process. If they're readable, they're going to be better than 50% of the stuff out there. And if they're readable and they tell the customer what they're buying, that is what makes a good cover. So make some covers, please.
Yes. All righty. We will see you all back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. We'll be back and rocking and rolling.
Catch you guys later.